Throwdown.
I was literally thinking how we would all jump out of an airplane with the chutes on and what we would all think right before we jumped off.
Tell me.
DIS&C.
Tell us.
So John's jumping out like, you know what? I got all my ducks in a row. I packed that chute like 4 fucking times and I went over everything. There's nothing that could possibly go wrong
I've read 7 books.
Right. I've read 7 books and know how to do this. I went to training 4 times before I got in the plane.
Absolutely.
Right. Like all that's running through your head.
And I'm still going to go last because I want to see how you guys
exactly.
all do it.
Right. So,
And he has a spare. He always has a spare.
And then the S over here is going to strap it on. She's going to like do her cross thing and pray to God. And then she's going to jump and it's all in the Lord's hands.
But she wants to jump with the rest of us.
Sure. It's all going to be a team effort. Right.
Let's go the same time.
And then Doc is going to like slam a beer, throw it out the plane, strap it on, and
he'll be naked.
Like,
he'll be naked.
Flaring out the window.
Because I'm thinking if it doesn't open, his did, and I know that I think I can fly over and grab
the
this.
level of hope that's in there. I
got
strong.
tons of hope. Right?
And then for me, it's like I hope that guy that I paid to pack my chute doesn't fucking hate me.
And you've got your gun ready to like put one in the chin. You're like, man, it's coming quick. I'm doing this myself.
Like
boom, as it pops. He's
he always diverts there.
Yeah, like I turn around and look at that fucking guy like, if this doesn't open, I'll see
I'm coming back.
Exactly.
I will be back.
It's so funny because this guy that I follow and you follow, Jocko Willink, he talks about on his podcast that he's like, when you're on the plane and they're giving you the safety briefing and everything else, he's like, I never think I'm going to die. He's like, I look around and I'm like, okay, everyone else is going to die, but I'm going to make it. And I'm like, that's such a D trait.
If somebody planted a bomb right here, somehow I'm going to be floating through the air and everybody else is going to be pink misted. Like I'm still going to get a second chance, like tie my pant legs in a knot and hopefully it helps as a parachute. Yeah.
Wow.
That's insane.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think that the whole DIS thing, you can break it down in quadrants and you can do all this stuff. Everybody has some different layers and they fit in some and you adapt to others and you see what you like, you go after that. You see what you don't like in yourself and you change it. But the point of it all is to be aware of all walks of life.
Yeah.
And how to adapt to that or don't. And if you don't, you probably shouldn't be in sales, right? And to put that in perspective here, if you're not willing to,
or it's a short stint and then it's on to leadership or something like that.
Yeah,
and you pretend that you were a salesman. So, all right, we know those guys.
I mean, but
when I was down on the rank and file.
Sure. And I think that change is probably a bad word because you're not trying to change. You're just adapt is a good word.
Yeah.
Adapt to your environment that you're in at that present time. And you can't do that if you don't know what the environment holds, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's a relationship. If you're in sales, your leadership in a relationship, you're going to do better, to simplify it.
Sure.
You're going to do better if you know who you're dealing with and who you are. I mean, you don't go in blindly into relationships and into sales.
I mean, if you go to the rainforest and then all of a sudden it rains and you're unprepared, it's like, well, no shit, dumbass, you're in the rainforest. Like bring a fucking raincoat.
Exactly.
And you got to adapt to that.
Very good. I like it.
I had a client that I've been working with for about a year, just kind of like he brings on new people and stuff. And so finally he was tired of like turnover. And so whenever we first started talking together, I said, hey, look, you should check out these assessments if you're trying to grow a sales team, so that you know yourself and you know the people that you're trying to hire. It's like, no, man.
How big a company?
They do about, I think like 15K in revenue. It's a team of about 7. They do marketing.
Oh, so.
And
it's a month, right? Or a week?
Yeah, a month. Yeah. Okay. So and so he was like, oh no, these are too expensive. And so he went and did a free one for himself. And I said, okay. And he kept hiring people. It wasn't going. Huh? And so then I said, look, he's like, I can't figure this out. And I was like, well, look, why don't you let me kind of help? We'll do these assessments and everything else. And he had done one of the free ones online, and so then whenever I showed him like the full assessment that you get after like going through this thing, it's like 37 pages. He was like, why didn't you tell me there was all this stuff in here, right? Super D. And I was like, dude, I told you didn't want to spend the money. And he was like, well, I'm never not doing this ever again. And I was kind of like, okay, cool.
And even yourself, as a business owner of a couple different things, you've done that. You've made that mistake before.
Oh yeah.
We had that conversation one night. We did have a conversation. Like, hey man, we fucking preach it every day, and you're not doing that one thing that might be the missing
That's
key.
True.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but I'd start there.
No, for sure. Yeah.
And so, I mean,
we need to do an episode on accountability. How you hold yourself accountable.
Yeah, I'm totally down for that.
So anyway, Just throwing it out there since I think we're.
Well, I won't have much to say.
Awesome. So
A lot of broken things in your world, I assume.
if you've been listening and you don't know where you are on this scale, or maybe you've taken a free one or whatever, but you think there's more to it, send us an email, assessments@salesthrowdown.com. We can get you hooked up. If you're sharing this, if you're listening to this and you know someone else in sales and they're struggling, share this with them. Like, no one's got to be out there by themselves. If you leave a review, we will read it on the show, give you a shout out, because that's how we grow and that's how we get better. So thanks a lot for listening, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you.